Hi everyone, Jessica here, welcome back to my channel and thanks for clicking on this video. So we're not going to be eating any dairy milk in today's video, but I'm actually going to be creating a gift box for 2 of the bars that come in this bigger pack. So we're going to be kind of constructing something. I have watched a video, Sam Calcott's video. She did a like a gift, but like a selection box, I think it was like a Christmas selection box, just to kind of see how she did it. There might be other ways of doing something like this, but this is just how I'm going to do it and I've interpreted it. So in this pack here, there are 4 bars, 300 grams. I bought this from Costco and I believe it's just under £10. So if you love dairy milk, I 100% find this the cheapest way to buy dairy milk, especially as a bigger bar. If you're giving it as a gift, something like that, you know, you've got 4 bars in here. So I'm going to be making a, like I said, a box. We're going to put 2 of these in and it's going to be just a little Father's Day thing for my husband. So yeah, this is what I've got. So if you know somebody who has a Costco card or you have a Costco card, definitely check these out because I do think they are worth the money. So I've got my 2 bars just here. So the first thing that I did was kind of measure. Again, I'm making a box that's going to be specific to this size for this bar of chocolate for 2 of these. If you want to recreate it, then I'll just sort of tell you how I worked it out. So I measured how long I needed it to be in terms of to house these, how wide it needed to be, and how deep. Obviously I've done 2 bars. So I think this was, I've done 1.5 inch by 11 inches by 4 inches. That should give us a nice snug fit. But of course then creating a box, we need the extra like the side, you know, to make it fit. So for this I did need to use A3 paper because my length was 14.5 inches, I believe it was. So yeah, I needed to use an A3 sheet of paper. Again, if you're not doing something that's quite as long, if you're doing some normal chocolate bars, you'll probably get this out of A4. Like I said, Sam pretty much did hers from A4 sheets. But yeah, just to hold the width of what I needed this to be, then yeah, so I needed a bigger piece. So I've got 3 pieces of white, so I'm going to decorate this with some coloured, some patterned paper, but I thought I'd just do white for the base. I was hoping I could have used 12 by 12, but yeah, I ended up needing, so this is 14.5 inches by 7 inches. This piece here is 12.5 inches by 7, and then this is going to be a flip lid, so this was 11 by 5.5 inches, and we're going to go and get into scoring. I did struggle certainly with this one at 14.5 inch. I couldn't get this into my 12 by 12 trimmer, so I did just do, I'm not sure what size it was here. I did just measure 7 inches and I had to cut it by hand, so hopefully that is all going to still work out okay. By the way, if you hear a lot of sort of sniffling and sort of a funny voice and some heavy breathing, I am suffering with probably one of the worst colds that I've had for a long time in the moment, so I do apologise, but I wanted to try and sort of still film these videos. So the first piece I'm going to take, this is going to be a flip lid. Sam had one of these as well. So like I said, this was 11 by 5.5, and I'm going to score this just right down at 1.5 because that is how thick I need it to be to hold both pieces. I just came off that track a little bit there. So to make it fit, because obviously this doesn't go all the way the length of the card, as I'm literally just gonna flip it over there. So that's our first piece. Oops. This is the next piece. This is the 7 by 12.5, and with this piece basically I'm gonna score along 3 edges at 1.5 inches. like so. So I've scored 1.5 from each of the long sides, and then just along the bottom for that one. And then for this one, so along the 14.5-inch side, we're gonna score at 1/2 inch. Then we're gonna score at 2 inches. And then I'm going to rotate it, and we're going to do 1.5 from this edge as well. And then down both of our sides, we're going to do 1.5 again. So there we have those. Hopefully you can see that as well. And that should hopefully be all the scoring that we need to do if I've worked this out correctly. So we're going to start with this piece here. So we've got this 1/2 inch piece. So we've got 1/2 inch, then we've got our 1.5, and then we've got our 1.5 down that side as well. And what we're going to do is with the 1/2 inch at the bottom, we're going to snip all the way up to that 2 inch mark. And then our little piece that we've got, our 1/2 inch, we're going to trim that piece away so it looks like this. And then we're going to do the same. Snip all the way up, and then we're going to take off that 1/2 inch. Just there. And then we're going to turn it to the other end, and again we're literally just going to snip up. So that's 1.5 inch. Like so. So it's going to look like this. Then we're going to bring in this piece here, and we're going to remove these two bottom square pieces here, and we're going to take just a little bit off there as well, like so. So we've got those pieces here, and then I'm just going to take a bit off here just to remove some of that bulk. And then pretty much this piece we are going to leave as it is, because this is going to go on the outside. So we're going to bring our pieces back in, and we're just going to fold all of our score lines. Okay, so we've got our pieces. So before we stick anything down, I want to create just a nice little aperture. So this here is one of my inverted DL nesting dies. So this is the second smallest one. This one is a little bit too wide here, and then you can see that this one is perfect. He's going to know pretty much you know what it's going to be anyway, but I'm going to do the inverted because that's going to leave the scalloped window on here. So this piece here, which was our 12.5 inch, this is going to be the back. So what we want to do is die cut this from the front. So if I just rest this on here, we can see it's going to have a little bit of space. Obviously I don't want it to be kind of too snug. It's not like, you know, it's going to be sort of rattling around too much. But what I think I'm going to do is, I'm happy with that kind of placement, so I'm just going to do like a small dot so if we pop our bar of chocolate back in, then you know we've got a good placement there, so I'm happy with that. And now what we can do is pop these two together. So because we've taken a wedge off this piece and that's going to be the underneath, what we're going to do is stick this piece under here. I did accidentally put my tape on this bit, which I had to take back up again, but I'm going to be covering the sides anyway. So we're going to run a bit of red liner tape, plus I'm going to use some glue as well, just so we can make sure we get it in the right place. And then I'm going to make sure the bottoms line up, and I'm going to go right up against our score mark. And just fold that over. Like so. And then again we're going to do the same. And hopefully have a nice little box. And there we have our box. And then with our ends, we're kind of difficult to show you just because of the length of it. I'm going to take off a little wedge from here, just from the sides. This is the base, so this isn't the end with the 1/2 inch tab. So we'll put 1 in, 2 in, and then that should square it up really nicely. Let's do glue all over that one. Then I'm going to do glue on the tabs on the inside. So we're going to fold this one, and then those, and then we'll do the inside, that one. And then what we want to make sure is it's nice and square. And then I'm going to take my boom folder and I can just go in there. We've got it nice and square then. And then with these we can put it in, and hopefully so I'm going to take a little bit off our 1 inch just so it'll actually go in and tuck in nicely. Just like so. So let's just give this a test. Let's bring our chocolate back. Let's close it up. And there we have. So we do have a little, I wonder, I wasn't intending to have 3, but let's just see, because we've got a little extra space in us. I think I've probably been a little bit generous in terms of this space. I'm sure he'd be more than happy having 3 of these bars. Let's just close that up again. So we've got actually a really solid box there. So to finish this off, then what we've got is this little lid here, which will go all the way over, and then it is going to lift up because I want to put a little message, little personal message in there. And what I'm actually thinking is that side where I had the glue, I'm actually going to make that the back so you definitely won't see it. Let's just pop these in. Nicely there. So this is a heavyweight. It's a 300 GSM card, but it's definitely, because the chocolate is quite weighty, it's definitely going to need that patterned paper on there just to really help strengthen it. So I'm going to use 2 bits of tape for this just to make sure that this stays on, because you're going to be opening and closing it. Let's get one on the bottom, and again then we're going to add some glue just to help with that, getting it into the right position. So I'm going to line up the sides, line up with that score mark, and it's going to make it easier doing it while it is full as well, because you can put just a little bit of pressure on there, and then that is, you know, going to open up nicely. So yeah, the side of it is a little delicate just here, but again I think then having that extra cardstock, and I might do 2 layers. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 2 layers as well, just to really help kind of strengthen that whole section out. So I'm going to pick out some papers, get them cut down to size, and I can give you some measurements, and then we can get this finished up. So I've done all my measurements, my mats and layers. So for my mats, the shiny, I used this rainbow shimmer mirror card that I had. And then the patterned paper came from this Grand's Plans. I've not got much of this left, so I wanted to use it up, and plus it's the most masculine paper that I've got. And then I did use this green cardstock here. This was from a 12 by 12 sheet, so I could actually get it to fit all the way. The excuse me, the pad that I used is obviously 8 by 8. I didn't have anything that would really work in a 12 by 12. That would have been better, because I would have been able to cover this all with full sheets, but instead I had to do paneling and things like that. So for this long piece here, so the top of it, this is 11 by 4 inches. So our first green mat and layer here is going to be 10 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then for that, so we've got one piece there, a second piece on the bottom, and then 2 more to go on the inside. The most difficult part really of all of this was then getting this to die cut in the exact same place. So whether I would do it differently next time, I don't know. I did manage to get it in the end, but it wasn't quite sort of lined up, but I'm still happy with how it looked. So you need 4 pieces of this size. Like I said, this was 10 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then for the side pieces, so you want 2 of these. This was 10 3/4 by 1 1/4. So again, you got 1 there and 1 for the back. These side pieces here, you want 2 of these. I can't remember, let me just measure this one. So this one measures 3 3/4 by 1 1/4, and then you need 1 for that end, 1 for that end, and then where this one has the opening, I ended up actually just having 2 squares of scraps left over that actually fitted perfectly, so I didn't even need to cut those down, so I popped them in there just to help kind of strengthen that area. So in terms of these pieces here, so the front of them I've ended up with 4 panels, and the middle I've ended up with 2. Now if I did do this again, like I said, I don't have too much in the way of the patterned paper left. I probably would have done maybe 2 panels on the front, I'm not sure, but on the front, I am going to do a Happy Father's Day. So what I'll do is I'm just going to decorate it like this for the moment, and then I'll show you some pictures, hopefully if I remember at the end of this video, sort of showing you exactly how it looks. I don't know that I'm really going to put too much more in terms of decoration on here, but like I said, I trimmed these down, so it's a little bit trial and error trying to work out the exact sizing of these 4 panels. I didn't give you the measurements. So for the mirror card, this measures 3.5 inch by 2.5, and then the patterned paper for that is 2.25 by 3.25, and yeah, like I said, I got 4 of those out of an 8x8 sheet. I think I managed to cut 3 going across, but I did need that 4th piece there as well, so you just need to kind of make it work. I think creating panels really is probably one of the easiest ways of if you don't have paper that kind of fits as a whole panel, creating smaller panels, multiple panels, for me definitely is the way to go. That went on, and like I said, then I think I might just add a nice I'm not sure if I've got sentiments actually, if I've got a Father's Day sentiment. I hope so, so I'm gonna have a little look back, but yeah, I want to put a nice sentiment just on the front there. Let's just come to the inside quickly. So then, like I said, I then created these 2 inside panels, and one of these I am going to pop a nice message. So these ones, the mirror card is 3.5 by 5. And then the patterned paper is 3.25 by 4 and 3/4, and we've got 2 of those. So I'm just going to do, like I said, a nice little message inside here. So I've got a slightly bigger gap in the middle there, but I'm not really too worried about that. I could bring it in a little bit. I think that one's kind of stuck now. The only place I decided not to decorate was down the sides here or here, just because I had so much trouble getting this to line up. I was going to pop 2 panels down here, but it's not actually the same size, so I just decided not to. You don't have to fill every single area. So then onto this piece here. So I cut 4 of these here, and they're going to go back and front just there. So these ones, the mirror card is 5 by 1, so then that'll be 3.75 by 3/4. And then we got these pieces for the ends. So this is 3.5 by 1, and then making the pattern paper 3.25 by 3/4 inch. So there is our decorated box. You can see there, hopefully. I really love how this has turned out, actually. It's really nice and sturdy. Here, obviously, it's got some weight to it because we got the 3 chocolate bars rather than the 2. So, again, ideally, I wanted to do 2, but I'm sure he'll be happy that there's 3 in here. Like I said, got a little bit more just to kind of add to this. Like I said, I want to do a sentiment on the front, and then I'm just going to do a personal message just on the inside here. But yeah, I really love how this turned out. I will try to do a coordinating blog post. Again, you're not necessarily going to have chocolate bars this size. Again, because of the actual size of the chocolate, that's what made it need longer pieces. But obviously Sam's video, she did a little selection box which she did out of A4 card, which might be a little bit easier, a little bit more appropriate, but this, again, I was just sort of making a custom box. But it's just to show you that it's quite easy to actually make a custom box for, you know, whatever it is that you want to give as a gift, and just pop it into yeah, a little box there. So I'm really chuffed with how this one's turned out. Again, this is, I was hoping to do a couple of things for Father's Day, obviously with that coming up. Hopefully it's not sort of too late, but you can obviously apply these to sort of any time of year. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this one has turned out. Okay, so here is my finished box. So I didn't add too much in the way of decoration on here because we've got a lot of the patterned paper and things, but I did add on a sentiment, so Happy Father's Day. So for that I used my own stamp sets, the Ultimate Big Words and the Ultimate Sentiment Builder. You can still buy these. I do still have some left. If you go over to my website, this one here is on sale at the moment, so do go ahead and check those out. So I basically just stamped them in black onto some white cardstock, and then I used one of my nesting oval dies to die cut that, and then I used that same patterned paper we had from the side, and then die cut that with the scalloped edge as well. And then I thought I would just add some stars just to add, again, a little bit more decoration. So I did some stars in the same holographic as what we've got here, and then just add some black glitter card. I wanted to do black, but not just a standard black. So we've got that on the front, and then all I did was just add a few of the other stars. I added my message in the inside, and yeah, just added a couple of stars in there as well, just to finish that off. So that is our finished chocolate box. Again, we fitted 3 of those 300-gram bars in here, so I'm really happy with how this looks, and it is really nice and sturdy, like especially this top flap, that is really, really nice and sturdy there. And obviously then we have our opening just on the side there, if you can see that. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I do still have a bar left, and I do plan hopefully to make another one of these with that last bar. Might do it slightly differently, or might just do it with slightly different measurements just for 1 bar of chocolate. So we'll see what I come up with for that, but that's basically going to be it for this video. Again, hopefully I will try to do a post with sort of measurements and things if you wanted to create something like this, but it means then you've got it written down and you're able to adapt it for yourself. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So if you did enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, you won't miss out on when I upload my next videos. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and happy crafting.